started the beat preview, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can make your own melodies similar to that. So I got the full melody right here. I'm going to just let it play by itself. So that's the full melody. I typically don't play everything at once, as I just showed right here. I usually like to split it up, as you can see on the full project. But I want to use 4 sounds total, all stock plugins. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down and show you what I did. So we got the main sound here. I simply used FL keys for the main sound, nothing complicated. FL key sounds great to me, so I typically stay to that piano. So for that main melody, I started with a simple B minor chord. So I skipped 2 spaces, placed, skipped 3, and placed a simple B minor chord. For the next one, did the same thing, but instead I just brought this note down. So from there, I just moved the C sharp note. I moved over to B note, and I did the same thing for this chord right here. So I moved the D note over, then I moved the B note over. So from there, I got the melody sounding like this. So the melody was sounding great from there, but it needed a little bit more fullness or darkness and what I like to do. So I just came in, I took that original B, dropped it down an octave, and we got our bass note. And then I added the F sharp right here as another bass note. And if you can tell, I just follow the notes that we already used from the scale. And if you do that, it'll sound good every time. So we got that B, we got that B note, and then we got the F sharp. It sounded something like this. So that was sounding pretty good, but I want to just make it a little bit darker. So I came in and I just took this B and dropped it down an octave, and I got this. So going back to the original top melody we have here, to give it a little bit more variation, I added an E here, so I just took this D and just moved it up to E. So for the effects for the piano, I came into the mixer and I always just pull this down just to take out that little bit extra low end. Then I came into the parametric EQ, did some EQing. Did a 145 cut. I came in, I added a fruity delay too. I added the widen preset just to give it a little more stereo. And then I came in, added a reverb. I went to the cathedral preset right here, and I just mixed it in from the mixer. And I'll show you what it sounds like without the effects and then with the effects. So without the effects, with the effects. Just sounds a lot more cleaner to me. So I like to pan the melodies a little bit. So I came to the piano, I panned it 10% left, and then I widened it a little bit, 14% stereo. Also for the piano, I came in and added a gross beat, and we added the halftime preset here. And I have that coming in and out throughout the beat with automation from down here. So for the next sound, I came in Sakura here, and I use this E key 7, which is just in the default bank right here, and key 7 right there. And I came in, I turned off the bass notes here, and I just left the original melody that we had from the piano. And it sounds something like this. I came in the mixer here, and I added some effects. So I came in the mixer and I added a gross beat, halftime preset here. I came in, added EQ. It's cutting out the lows and some of the highs. Added a fruity chorus, and I came to the fat clean preset here just to make it a little bit more fat and clean. Obviously, I came in and I added a fruity delay too, again the widen preset just to give it a more stereo. I opened up fruity delay 3, added some delay. I did the time by 2, and I just turned down these knobs a little bit and turned the wetness down a little bit, and I turned it to ping pong mode right here. And then lastly, I added some reverb, the cathedral preset again, and I just messed with this knob a little bit, turned it down. Here's the wet knob, and I also came in and turned down the bass because we don't want any more bass in the melody. Again, like I said, I added gross beat to the sound. So without all the effects, it sounds like this. And then with the effects. Then I came in, I added some stereo to it, about 16%. So for the next sound, I came in GMS, and I went to the Wise Lab bank right here, and we grabbed bell right here, the lullaby. I'm in the piano roll, and again, I just copied and pasted the original melody that we had, the art melody. But this time I just took the beat and raised it up an octave. So like that. And everything's the same. I took out the bass notes here. And I got something sounding like this. Now for the effects, what I added a gross beat to that. I added halftime. Added another gross beat, and I added the sidechain preset here. You can go ahead and copy it if you like. It just makes the melody sound really cool to me, so I added that. Here's what it sounds like without it. Here it is with that preset. So I added that. And for the EQ, I just came in and I added the radio preset here, adjusted it very slightly, and got something like this. Then I came in, added the fruity chorus again. I added the fat clean preset right here. And then I added a fruity delay 2, again the widen preset, and added a regular delay here. Again, I went to the time 2, ping pong. Messed with this knob, turned it down a little bit, and turned down the wetness a little bit. I added a reverb, again the cathedral preset, turned the bass all the way down, and just messed with these knobs very, very slightly. And then I like to mix it in the actual mixer right here. So that's what I did. Again, for all the melodies I use, I come into the built-in EQ and I just turn that down. Perfect cut. And also for the gross beat here, I added automation clip, so it comes on, it's basically on the whole beat except for very small parts like the intro. And for this part right here, I have it turning off and then coming on again for the rest of the beat. So it's the effects off and on, sounds like this. Effects on. And I came in here, I panned it 12% to the right, and then I added a little bit stereo, 16% stereo, just to give it a little bit more width. Now for the final melody element, I came in flex here, and I simply added all strings pizzicato right here. and we got something sound like this. And for the pizzicato, I just came in here, just added the original melody that we had from the piano, just copy and paste that in. I deleted the bottom bass notes here and just left this one, and everything else is the same. So I added that to the mixer, came in, added some EQ, took a lot of the low end out and some of the high end. Again, I added the Fat Clean preset here from Fruity Chorus, and then Fruity Delay, added the Widen preset. For Fruity Delay 3, I came in, this time I had the time on 4, added the Ping Pong, turned down the level a little bit, and turned down the wetness. Then I came in, added the Fruity Reverb 2, turned the bass down, and then I just mixed it in the mixer right here. Then I went ahead and I added 20% panning to the left, then an 8% stereo separation here. Here's a melody without the effects. And here's a melody with the effects. So after I did that, I came in, highlighted all the melodies, and I added it to a bus right here. This melody bus here, you right click, and you do route this track only, and you add all the melodies in here. So that's what I did. I have a sound goodizer on there, Fruity Delay, and just some EQ. Now, if you want the secret trick on how to speed the melody bus up a little bit, you can go ahead and get Choose Centerfold Kit. He has a mixing preset in here. Absolute fire. I've been using that a lot these days, so just saves a lot of time. You come in here and just drag it in. Sounds great. So I'm going to play it with and without. So yeah, it does a lot to your melody to sound really full and sound really good. So before I go over the drums and all the drums I did, like I said before, I added a gross beat to this sound right here. In the beginning of the beat, I have it turned off with automation down here. I'm going to come back on. And it's basically shut off the whole entire beat after that until it returns back to the intro here. Like I said before, I just have it turned off for this small part. And then it comes right back on. And I'll just show you the piano real quick. And for the piano, for the first 16 bars, I have a groove speed on. And then it just turns off. Then for this section here, I just have it coming back on. Then it turns off again. And then it just restarts. Now for the drums, the first thing you want to do before you even think about adding drums is you want to add a soft clipper. I use TR5 Classic. It's the only stock plugin I didn't use. It's a really great VST. I just come down and add the plus 6 dB soft clip right here. And it makes everything hit very hard without clipping. Now, if you don't have a nice brick wall limiter, again, you can come to Choose Centerfold Kit. And he has a beautiful master chain preset just for that reason. So if you don't have a soft clipper, you can go ahead and get that. Now for the drums here, we'll just start with the kick. Very simple kick pattern. It's literally that whole 8 bars. Very simple, nothing complicated, just a nice little bounce. And then for the clap, just your regular clap. Nothing crazy there. Now after the kick and the clap, I like to add my hi-hat next. For the hi-hats, I like to do syncopation with my drums, so that's why I do that. Meaning everything just kind of like flows in and flows out together. So for the hi-hat patterns, I just use the 1/3 step and then the 1/6 step a lot. This is what I got. So I like to play with those octaves a lot. So from C5 to the C3 typically, just to get that dark sound and that bounce going. So with the hi-hats, you also want to play with the velocity. Definitely adds to the bounce and makes it sound that much better. Now if I add in the kick and the clap, you kind of can hear what I mean when I say syncopation. Everything kind of just flows in and flows out together. For the hi-hats, I'm using them from my free high-end drum kit here. Got some nice sounding hi-hats in there, just hard hitting drums in general. But anyways, I came into the hi-hat, turned up the shift knob a little bit to give it a little bit more swing so it's not hitting instantly. As well, I came into the out knob and I adjusted that a little bit so it sounds just a little bit more like cleaner. So if I were to turn it all the way up, it'll sound like this. So I just turned it up a little bit. Now after like the syncopation hi-hat, I like to come in and clone it. And then we got another hi-hat here. And I simply just did a fill each 2 step right here. And I call that like the pace keeper, just to keep the pace going. And I just removed these few notes right here just because for the hi-hats, we have these notes hidden there. So I didn't want them to kind of overlap. This is what it sounds like. And together. So after that, I like to come in, add my open hat, just to give it a little bit more bounce and just make it sound harder. Nothing crazy. I actually added 3 different hi-hats for this beat. The next hi-hat, and finally the 3rd hi-hat here. Now all together with the hi-hats playing. Definitely has a crazy bounce going, so I like to do that. And just to add to that bounce going, I added a perk right here. Again, I just made sure it was on key, so I pitched it down a little bit, normalized it to make it sound louder, and I just turned the shift knob up a little bit on there. And we got this going. And for this perk here, I went ahead and highlighted all of them, Alt R, and I panned them a little bit to the right. I usually do 40%. And then once I get all the drums going, I like to add the 808, which is usually the last little element I'll add besides the bass or whatever. And for the 808, I came in and I like to add a kick pattern to start, and then I like to spice it up a little bit. So very simple, nothing crazy. Again, these 2 notes right here are just following the kick pattern. And then I just add these other notes at the end. And nothing crazy. And again, they're just following the original melody keys. So we got like a C sharp, we got B, and I think we have an F in there somewhere for the 808. And yeah, it's just following the same notes, so nothing complicated. And for the 808, I did nothing special. All I did was just make sure I cut itself so it does not clash with the other notes in there. And that's about it. Then I came in, I felt like I needed a little bit more, so I added a sub bass here. Again, very, very simple. Just following that root note of B. And then I added some slide notes. And again, all the slide notes are just following notes I already used in the main melody. That's just for the intro, and I have it restarting over here. I made it unique. Instead of just having this part repeat, I just went ahead, I turned this note off. Very hard. I did come down and add some little bit of effects here. Just some ear candy to make it sound a little better and harder. So to start, we got this right here. I love that loop. It just makes it sound so much harder. So we added that. We added this right here. Just a hard hitting bell to have that drop really go in. Then to even make the drop even better, just added these sound effects right here. Some nice little transition. Then I had that money printer going. And then one last effect here, again, just to have that drop hitting. And boom. Oh, and real quick to the drums, I added all the drums into a drum bus. And again, I just came to choose centerfold kit and grabbed that explosive drum bus and just added that in. Then again, I added his send chain, the drum verb, just added a little bit of reverb to the drums so it's not so dry. And that's really all I did. So yeah, that's the final beat. Very simple, nothing complicated at all. I just went in there, layered the melodies with the original melody that I made, removed some elements, added some elements. That's really it. Added some gross beat to some things. Yeah, that's really it. Nothing complicated. Don't overthink this shit. Just go in and make some hard shit. That's really all I could say. I'm gonna let the final beat play out again for you guys to hear. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We're about to hit 100 subscribers as recording this video. So thank you, everyone. And I'm Rob Chillin. Have a great day.